you can go back and look at it, or if you just want to go back and look at it for fun, I'm sure you do. So let's look at what we're doing today. If you remember from yesterday, we went over. Oh, that's for next week. Don't look at that. Don't look at it. If you remember yesterday, we went over section A, and today we're going to be going over section B. So, again, same thing as yesterday, basically, just a different section. So I'm going to minimize. Oh, I already did that. Okay, cool. Minimize that. That's for next week. And get this up. Okay. One thing real quick, I feel like I haven't mentioned. So basically, it's a third party that brings in this information. It's from MBA Research. My former clinical teacher is actually like a big part of that now. She actually works for MBA. So what's cool is they basically create all this stuff and then they allow North Carolina schools to use it. So we're using basically those modules. There's a few here or there that do not have modules. So you'll see, for instance, next week that it'll just be 1.03 because it's not a LAP module. And I have the LAP modules going in order. For instance, this is 1.01, this is 1.02, 1.03, and then this is the next 2.01 section right here. So nothing too much to worry about. I think it's actually it might be 1.04. But regardless, we will get there eventually. We're just kind of moving through this. So if you see this just means there wasn't a LAP module. So you can see there's not going to be as much stuff there. I've covered everything that we need to know, but there wasn't enough for them to really create a LAP module on it. So, and there'll be one or two more of those before we get to the end of the semester. But we're trucking on along, and it seems pretty good. And you can also see if you go through the standards of the course and look at those, where I should have them. I think I have them in the syllabus. You can see the concept management lines up with 1.02 if you really want to do that. But like I said, it's already in order for you, so no big deal. And as long as you're following along with class, you'll be fine. So let's go ahead and get started. Just like yesterday's a fill in the blank. This is a Word document that you can open up, or you can answer it separately if you really need to. I would prefer you try to answer it on this either in Google Docs or in a Word document. And remember, answer it in blue ink. If you do not answer in blue ink soon, I'm going to start putting zeros on it. At first, I'm just going to put a 9 out of 10 on them. I haven't graded anything yet. I'm still kind of working on that. But once I start grading, if you're not putting, filling in the blank with blue ink, then, because I said complete in blue and submit. So make sure you're typing in blue right here. If you don't, you're going to get like a 9 out of 10 for these first two. And then after that, I'm going to start giving you a 0 for not following directions. Because here's the problem, guys. I don't know. You could just go in and copy and paste this in there and not really following along. And this really isn't for y'all as much who are in Zoom with me and following along as I'm going. It's more for the people who aren't getting on Zoom, and I feel like they could just be cheating. So I have to put this across the board to make sure they're not cheating. If you've had me before, which I think a few people in here have, I'm not a stickler. I try not to be a stickler, but at the same time, I'm not just going to stand for y'all cheating. So just bear with me, and we'll get through it together. So make sure you get this open, and you're able to either type in it, or if you really have to, you can type in a separate document if you need to. So let's go ahead and get started then on this. It's not too long of a section if I'm remembering correctly. Well, I could have just clicked on this and hit next. I forget that there's this next button down here, which is a lot easier. So we're going to go over who are managers, and then we're going to go over what managers manage. And then we got the summary. So it's literally only like two basically pages worth of information. And I'm just going to read over it for you. I think this is the best way to do it. It's basically like going over a PowerPoint. This one's just been a little bit more boring because there really hasn't been any pictures or any cool kind of like, bulleted points. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So who are the managers? If you're not ready for me to get started, please just speak now. Or put an X no if you're not ready for me to start talking. Oh, let me get the chat up in case you need that too. More chat. Let's pull this over here. And I can see that. And we can go from there. All right. Let's get started. So who are the managers? So all but the smallest of businesses have more than one manager. Some large businesses have hundreds of managers in these types of businesses. There are many levels of management, and each level has very different responsibilities and authority. The three main levels of management are top level, executive management, and mid-level, or middle management and first line or supervisory management. Top level or executive management. So managers at this level are responsible for the operations of the entire organization. They are the owners, chief executive officers, presidents, chief of financial officers, vice presidents, and general managers. So they are your big picture people. They are the ones who are in control of everything. There are only a few top managers because they are at the highest level of the business. You ever heard, if it's a football reference, you can't have two quarterbacks? Some teams try, but usually doesn't go very well. You can't have two people at the very top of a business. But we'll talk more about that in a minute. These managers are the highest paid because they have the most authority and the most responsibility. As a result, they are usually the ones who are blamed if the business has a bad year and profits are down because they're in charge. Managers at this level must have strong conceptual and decision making skills because they are responsible for organizational goal setting. Top level managers develop a vision of what the business should be and decide where the business is headed. After setting the organization's goal, they must communicate those goals to everyone else. They also spend a good deal of time conducting strategic planning. They plan strategies to achieve the goals over a long period of time. Lastly, they monitor the business's performance and may make decisions about whether to develop new products or expand into new markets. For example, of top level managers in action, read Amy Goth and Kim Brosh's article, The Best CEOs of the Past 20 Years. So let's just look at this really quickly. I think Trotta's late. Oh yeah, I was supposed to say his name on the Zoom meeting. Oh well. We're in the recording, but it'll be okay. Hey Nick, are you okay? I accidentally said your name during the Zoom meeting. It's going to be on YouTube. You're going to be mad that you're on the my teacher YouTube page?
I'm good.
Okay, good. You were in there for that discussion that day, weren't you? Yeah, that was your business law class. We discussed that. I forgot what your fake name was. All right.
I have a question. How are we supposed to um submit it with blue ink? Because I did it in the text box yesterday because I couldn't figure out how to get it with blue ink on the actual document.
You did it in the text box.
Yeah.
So you did it like a separate document?
No, I did a text box entry and submitted it that way.
Oh.
And looked back at the articles and got the answers from the articles.
What kind of were you using Google Docs or Word?
I was using the Canvas text box to submit the
so you went. Let me real quick. Let's see. So it'll close. Okay. So for instance, you went here and you went and you hit submit and then started typing in there.
The text box, yeah.
I got you. Well, that's fine. Like I said, I'm. You know what? Yesterday I will not grade that one harshly, but today, are you using a Chromebook?
Yeah.
So it's harder to download that document, so that's why you did.
Yeah, it won't let me download it. That's the thing.
That makes sense. Okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna grade down on it. We'll just move on for A and B.
Okay.
No worries. Okay, let's just yeah. Okay. The joys of online teaching. Actually, it's not the problem of the online teaching. The problem is definitely I don't want to click on this. Where's the X? Maybe later. Okay. The issue is I feel like y'all don't have good enough technology to really be working on this. So let's look at the best CEOs. Indra Nooyi, I don't know if that's how you say her name, but it's Pepsi. So she's the CEO of Pepsi. Alan Mulally, I don't know if I'm pronouncing names correctly. He's the CEO of Ford. Disney, oh my goodness, they're going to take over everything. Costco, yeah, Costco usually does things pretty well. J. Crew, TBS and CNN. The person who owns eBay. I was about to say that was like an old picture. Obviously the guy who runs FedEx, that's a long time. IBM, that was older. News Corporate. Wow, that's a long time. Trying to think of anyone like we know. I don't really remember him. Howard Schultz, Starbucks. Yep, and he's still doing Starbucks. Oracle, I don't really know him that well. Mark Zuckerberg running Facebook. That's a little iffy considering he's been on. When has this article been written? Because what is this? The best CEOs of the past 20 years. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, this is from 2011. Yeah, so that would have been before he had to go to trial. So that's kind of interesting. Just had to throw that out there. Yeah, this is a little dated. Sorry, guys. I thought this would be a little bit better. Let's see who they thought number one was. That kind of makes sense. And last one, Steve Jobs. I figured, yeah. Yeah, and a lot of these companies have come under hot water more recently, though, because of the, are they listening to you through your smart devices, things like that. And, in 2011, we weren't really thinking of all that. So that's 10 years old now. Oh, my gosh, I feel really old. I was in high school when that article came out, so that's a little dated. So let's keep moving. Mid-level or middle management. This level of management is responsible for implementing the goals set by top management. Middle managers are the department heads, production managers, sales managers, and district managers. Middle managers not only report to top managers, but also have lower level supervisors who report to them. Therefore, they are in the middle and are considered the link between top level and first line management. If top level management decides to design a new product, then mid level managers will plan how to do this. On the other hand, if first line managers notice major problems such as low morale among employees, they tell middle managers. The middle managers pass on the information to top managers. Middle managers who should possess healthy dose of all three managerial skills are especially active in the planning, organizing, and controlling functions of the management. The planning that they do is more tactical in nature, meaning that they develop a short-term plans to carry out within the next year in response to top management's decisions. In other words, what actions should the business take on a short-term basis to achieve its goals? Let's say that you are a middle manager. Swore something popped up on the side. Let's say you're a middle manager of a business that wants to open a new location. You will plan how to find the best site, decide how to recruit qualified employees, and determine how to attract customers. You and the other middle managers are the ones who figure out how to make top management's vision a reality. First line or supervisory management. So this is basically, you're more in-person managing. First line managers take the vision one step further and make it happen. They are the ones who are concerned with actually carrying out the actions and plans that the middle managers identified. They are the office manager, floor supervisor, shift supervisor, and team leader. They spend most of their time staffing, directing, and controlling, and are generally responsible for the day-to-day activities of the employees who do the routine work of the business. They train these employees, assign works to these employees, evaluate employees' job performance, and maintain respect and discipline among the employees. In addition, first-line managers often work side by side with these workers. Just like I said, if you were managing a McDonald's or a Taco Bell or somewhere like that, I like Taco Bell. I wish I had Taco Bell right now, actually. But anyway, if you were managing a Taco Bell, for instance, you would be helping cook some of the foods. You might be helping run the cash register. You might be helping do different things because, and that's what a successful manager would do, because, that's how you're going to get stuff done is, getting in there and working with it. When we're talking about a mid-level manager with that same example, when let's see, what's a recent Taco Bell? I feel like a Taco Bell's been built recently. Maybe not. At some point, Taco Bell's all had kind of changed their look. The one over near Tractor Supply and like the Audi over there in Winterville, kind of near Pitt Community College, they're changing the look of their Taco Bell. I think they're one of the last ones that haven't changed their look. But obviously, that was a top-level management decision a while back to change how Taco Bell looks. They don't look the same as they used to. So then it came to a mid-level management. So there's probably someone who kind of manages, I don't know how they run their business. They might have someone who manages kind of all of the Greenville Taco Bells. They might have someone who's kind of in charge of each one, who's like the, kind of manager who will organize what contractors are coming in to work on that said Taco Bell. Ordering the new looking, sign, ordering all this other stuff. So this was their goal. They want to update all the Taco Bells. Their job is to get all of the stuff in there. Meanwhile, this manager probably isn't involved in that, but so much, communicating to the employees, hey, we're going to be only having the drive-through open for now. They're going to be the lead contact when these contractors that this person's hired comes and meets them. So pretty basic stuff. And you can find an example of this in basically any business because this is a very, simple way this works. For small local owned business, mom and pop stores, as we might call them, this person may do this and they may even do this. So someone could wear all three of these hats technically. I'm sure like if Shimmer, some of those boutiques that, have popped up in the past like 5-10 years that have become such a big deal, probably someone owns them and they might have someone who does this and they might kind of do both of these jobs, and then have someone who's kind of like their manager there. But like I said, you might find a mom and pop store that they do all three. It just depends. Or they may be an owner and have some ideas and they have a person who does all two of these jobs. So it just depends. There's no wrong or right way to do it. It's whatever works best for the business. So, all right. So what managers manage? So this isn't too bad. We'll get through this pretty quickly and we'll move on. All levels of management are responsible for managing the resources of the business. Although top managers have the final say, both middle and supervisory managers are involved in a certain extent. The resources that a business must manage are human resources, financial resources, material resources, and information. All right, so human resources. So if you remember from The Office, if anyone watched The Office, Toby is human resources. So think about some of the stuff he does in The Office if you watch that show, and it'll kind of line up with this pretty well, with some exceptions, obviously. It's a TV show. It's not real life. Human resources are all of the business's employees. Many businesses believe that employees are their most important resource because without workers, the business could not function. Could a coffee shop exist without servers to take customers' orders and baristas to make the coffee and other specialty drinks? All levels of management are involved with human resources. Top managers are mainly concerned that there are enough qualified employees to meet the business's needs. Beyond that point, middle and supervisory managers are usually responsible for human resources. And we'll talk more about that later. Kind of more about what human resources do. But, this is just a big overview of each resource for a company. So financial resources are all of the sources of money available to the business. These resources might include the cash the business has on hand, income from sales or investments, a line of credit that allows the business to borrow funds as needed, or money owed to the business by its customers. All businesses need financial resources to buy supplies and materials, to pay employees, and to cover their other operating expenses. I'm sure y'all have heard of the saying, it takes money to make money. You got to have something to make some money. And if you think about it, that does apply to every situation. The way managers handle the business's financial resources often determines whether the business succeeds or fails. Top managers have final responsibilities for the profitability of the business. However, they usually do not personally handle the finances unless they are the owners or of a small business. Middle managers are the ones who develop budget, oversee accounting departments, and coordinate investment programs. At the supervisory level, managers watch expenses to make sure they stay within their budgets. All right, so material resources. So material resources are the equipment and supplies that businesses need to produce and or sell their products. Managing material resources involve purchasing and maintaining the right type and amount of equipment and supplies for workers to use in doing their jobs. As a result, top managers are seldom involved directly with these activities. They pass on that responsibility to middle managers. Depending on the size of the business, regional managers or branch managers may be the ones who decide what's needed and purchase the materials. They often rely on first line managers to give them information about the equipment and supplies that workers need. Again, if we go back just to our simple Taco Bell example, you know, they've got all those different types of machines and cooking ware that they need. If one of those machines breaks, the manager of that local Taco Bell, the person who's there working in the store, they are not responsible for going and buying that. They are going to go tell someone, hey, I need this, and can you get it for me? And then they're going to get it. And it's going to be that middle person who gets it. They might have to get, approval to buy that, but for the most part, they should have probably an expense account that allows them to buy those things if needed. And they probably have an allotment that they have to spend money on for just general repairs or general replacements of technology. And then even from a local business, from a small business perspective, again, if you're that owner, if you're running all three of those, then you don't have to ask anybody. You're the owner and you're managing it and you're seeing it broken. I see that my machine over here that I'm making, let's say I have a t-shirt store and I own it and I work inside there and all of it's me. If I realize, hey, that's broken, I'm just going to go get it out of my company's expenses. Well, we've made this amount of money and it's in the account. Well, now I need to go take some of that money I made and buy this, and I'll need to keep it on my records on how much I spent on this. Information. Another important resource of business is information, including facts, statistics, and opinions. One type of information is internal and comes from within the business, such as sales reports. Another type of external includes information about what is going on in the business industry. External information can also include the state of the economy, consumer trends, and any other data that apply to the specific business. Managers get important information from many sources. Top managers often receive information from outside sources, such as advertising firms. They also get information from their own middle managers, who may get information from frontline managers, who may get information from their employees, who may get information from their customers. So you can see it's a long trending thing. If you strictly go into Taco Bell and say, hey, I really want this item back on the menu, and they hear it enough, the employees might say it to their manager. Their manager will give it up to the middle manager, and it might go all the way up to the top. Does it work like that all the time? Probably not. But if enough people see it, then they'll bring it back. Taco Bell's good about that with the nacho fries. But the thing Taco Bell does well with that is they do take it away because, for instance, when do you want Chick-fil-A? Somebody put in the chat, when do you want Chick-fil-A? If you're a Chick-fil-A person, what day of the week do you really want Chick-fil-A? Sunday. Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, but they don't have Chick-fil-A on Sunday. So Taco Bell's doing a similar thing. You really want the nacho fries, for instance, but they're not always there. They're there right now, but they'll be gone in about a month probably. So they know what to do, and then they get these big hyped up commercials for Taco Bell, which I don't know if y'all have seen them. They actually have usually big actors in them, which is interesting. But they get this all hyped up for the nacho fries, and then they have them for a month, and then they go away. And then they get all hyped up again, and they bring them back. And that's just the cycle that they do. They do it with tons of their products, and it must work for them because they're doing it a lot. Something cool we'll do, and I do this even with my multimedia class, well, my old multimedia classes. We'll watch some of the Super Bowl commercials because a lot of times you'll see kind of what is the thought process behind them. And we'll see, is that from a top level management decision? Most of the time it is. For instance, the Planters peanut, they killed him off and then brought up the baby peanut, thinking it would, be a big shock value. They were just trying to do something like that. So you'll see, and you'll start thinking about it more as you're seeing what we go over in this class too. So managers get important information from many sources. Wait a minute. Where was I at? We did that. I'm at right there. The more information that business managers and owners have, the better able they are to make good decisions. So again, you always want more information. Having more information is never a bad thing. You can get information overload, but for the most part, for this course, I have tons of materials that the MBA that I talked about earlier, the MBA research team, they have tons of materials. I don't have to use all the materials, but I have them, and it's better to have more materials than less. Trust me, as a teacher, I would rather have more materials than less. To achieve their goals, businesses must effectively manage all of these resources. To do so, all levels of management need to carry out the unique responsibility and work together. Remember, I talked about communication yesterday. Communication is a very large part in a business, and I can't discuss that enough, that communication will be so much important when it comes to all of these different topics we go over. So management is divided into 3 levels: top level or executive, mid-level or middle, and first line or supervisory. So it's kind of in 3 sections, but you can name it by different things. Management is responsible for managing a business's resources, including human resources, financial resources, material resources, and information. And that is all I have for you today. So all you have to do for today, I gotta do that again. I feel like it never is saving me. So you're gonna go take this test here in a minute once I put in points for it. And you'll have a couple attempts on it, so it's not that big of a deal. Pretty easy questions. So today, the only thing you really have to worry about is doing the student handout B and completing the total recall B for this section right here. And once you get done with that, you're basically done. Yeah, you're done for the weekend, and then we'll get on this section next week. Actually, we got to take that post test. I forgot about that. So we'll do that on Tuesday fairly quickly. So no worries. At this point, you're welcome to leave the Zoom. You can stay on the Zoom. It's totally up to you, but I'm going to mute myself here in a minute so I can get this video together and put it on YouTube. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Do the best you can with, filling in blanks, filling in these quizzes and stuff. I know it's hard and it's difficult when you've got a Chromebook, and the Chromebooks aren't the best things in the world. So we'll just keep doing the best we can. So, all right. I hope to see you next week on Zoom, and maybe after that, maybe we'll be back to in school, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So I have no answers on that. So, all right, y'all have a great day, and I will talk to you later.